So in the last episode of the popular podcast Frenemies with Trisha Paytas and Ethan Klein, all hell broke loose when near the end of the podcast, Trisha and Ethan got into an argument that resulted in Trisha deciding to leave the show. She later made a video on her own channel, where she goes more in depth on why she decided to leave the show, and that caused a Twitter discussion that I covered in my last video. But since then she uploaded another video on the subject. And this one caused a little more than just a Twitter discussion, but rather a huge Twitter fight between Ethan and Trisha that lasted the entire night. It got so bad that both of them decided to delete their tweets, but fortunately I was up to screenshot them all so I could read them out for you. It starts out with Ethan saying, "Okay, I'm starting to get upset about all of this. Our crew is getting hate from Trisha's fans on their personal accounts, and I am losing my cool. The crew has done nothing but support her and work their asses off every week, and the treatment they are getting is unacceptable." Trisha quote tweets him and says, "I was never rude to them. I know nothing about what you pay them, and I don't care to know. It was never about them." Ethan then tweets out, "While Trisha keeps complaining about money, every single cent I've ever made from Frenemies is tied up in Frenemies merch that doesn't come out for another month, of which she will be getting 50% of the profits. Paid for, designed, produced by us, and I am treating her unfairly." Trisha quote tweets him and says, "This is a lie. I'm getting 15%, which is fine because you putting up the money. Nowhere did you say Frenemies highlights was the money going into buying the product. I'm still not mad, but why mislead saying I'm getting 50% of the profits when it's 15% of what you're telling me is profit?" She then shows DMs between her and Ethan. It starts out with Ethan saying, "We are splitting the 30%, which is typically our profit margin." Trisha responds, "Sounds good. Yep." Ethan responds, "Okay, cool." To which Trisha responds, "Totally cool with that. Your resources and your investing. I'm more than happy with that." Ethan responds, "I'll show you all the numbers and sales and stuff, obviously." Trisha responds, "Cool, cool." To which Ethan says, "Sweet, we're aiming for May. Looking good." Trisha continues on Twitter by saying, "You keep switching. Is it to pay employees? Production costs? Or now it's merch? Like what?" She then shows DMs between her and Ethan, which I assume are from the inception of the podcast, and it starts out with Ethan saying, "We can do 50-50 on revenue from the main episode plus sponsors." Trisha responds, "Okay, works for me." Ethan responds, "Is basically just 50-50 on all the money from the main episodes. There is highlights. We'll just keep that money to cover production costs and such." Trisha responds, "Okay, that totally makes sense to me." Ethan responds, "If that's okay." Trisha responds, "Totally." Ethan responds, "Sweet, I'm excited." To which Trisha responds, "Same." So freaking random. Ethan responds, "I know, that's why it's awesome." Ethan also says, "Would you be okay with 55-45? I think the other stuff might not add up to enough." Trisha responds, "Lol, K." To which Ethan responds, "How about 60-40? JK. Sorry, I know it's lame. I was just thinking about it a little more." Trisha responds, "Oh my god, I was like so Jewy." "I don't care, that's fine." Ethan responds, "I was just thinking I want to hook the crew up a little for the extra work." Trisha responds, laughing my ass off, "It's fine. No less, lol." Ethan then jokingly responds, "How about 44.9? Trisha continues on Twitter by saying, "I can't scream enough I don't want more money. I want to have a say in where some of the highlights money goes to because that's what we agreed on, production costs." He asked me why I should have a say in new hires, because I was under the impression Frenemies money would pay for part of someone's salary. I don't know. It turned into this huge thing. If I cared so fucking much about money, I wouldn't be quitting but apologizing and begging to be taken back. Money does not control me. It's a huge money loss to step away, because it also helps promote my side businesses, which is now not gonna be as easy. And that's okay." Ethan Klein then tweets out, "I reached out to Trisha an hour ago saying that I wasn't happy with how she handled this, and how unfair it was. And instead of talking to me and handling it privately, she put out another 20-minute video that caused my crew to get so much hate they are now privating their Instas." Trisha quote tweets him and says, "I said I have no issue with them. You are using them to hide the fact that you are an asshole. Stop saying I'm inducing hate by defending myself. I was never rude to them. They were never rude to me. This is insane. My video was clarifying what I said. It's not inciting hate whatsoever to anyone. AB, Dan, and Ian are all public on Instagram. It's straight up bullshit. No one is private. How about you telling me I can't bring Moses to the set because he's not a part of the show? And I respected your wishes because it's a job. I come to work. Deflecting everything onto the crew, when I've never had any interaction with them. I sit next to Ethan. I'm presented with topics by Ethan while on the show. I lashed out Ethan, but he wants to paint me to be the villain to the crew? Not happening. How about Ethan as their boss? The employer, the producer. Not let it get to that level? How about not air it? I agreed to let it air, but I'm not in charge of employees. Never have been. Any hate they're getting is Ethan for letting that run. I really didn't think anything of being rude to the crew until Ethan texted me late last night they were upset. I disrespected them, and they wouldn't be filming the vlog the next day. I was confused as fuck. I agreed to let it air because I just thought it was between me and Ethan. Ethan also said last night he agreed I was being rude. I clearly didn't/don't see it. He did. He shouldn't have let it air. His crew is getting hate? My entire Twitter, YouTube, TikTok is how I haven't changed. I'm evil, rude, greedy, money hungry. I'm getting insane amount of hate. She then shows an email she got that says, "Dear Trisha, you are the most toxic human being on the face of this planet. You are not worthy of spending time with Ethan and the H3 crew. Please take your shit and get the fuck out. We are done with your behavior. You don't deserve the money. All you do is rock up and talk. Why are you so hung up on the money when you said frenemies is your play money? Fuck you, Trisha. You are literally the worst." Trisha continues tweeting when she says, "I'm triggered as fuck right now. I didn't respond to his text because I'm pissed. He said I'm being unfair when he was rude as fuck to me, telling me I'd just show up, patronizing me saying I'm in perfectly stable condition. I was in shock. I'm still am. And don't come on here saying my crew is getting so much hate from Trisha's video. Those are your employees for you to protect. You knew they were upset. Why would you let it go out? My video said nothing negative about them." Ethan then tweets out, "At the end of the day, Frenemies was a beautiful experiment that I will always cherish. I've learned and grown so much from the experience and have Trisha to thank for that. She has been a dear friend of mine throughout, and I'll always be grateful for all she's done for us. Peace and love." Trisha then responds by saying, "Don't peace and love this bullshit. You brought it to Twitter. You brought up merch sales. I didn't respond privately because I'm not in the space to. Fucking Jesus." And then blast me on Twitter saying I incite hate, but then she's great, wonderful? Great time together. Ugh. BS. I've been quiet on social media because this shit feels awful. None of it feels good, but I needed to clarify what I said. I'm allowed to speak on what I was trying to say. When he texted me the crew was upset with me at 11:30 last night, I genuinely was taken aback. Like, I still am. I had no idea who came up with what. I really thought Ethan did. I've always been appreciative. I've said that in my videos today. Damn. Daniel Perez responds to Trisha by saying, "I swear to God if you actually talk to him, this won't get any better this online back and forth. Just take it easy." Trisha quote tweets him and says, "He brought it online tonight. If he watches 2 seconds of my video, I'm clarifying what I said. He tweeted how his crew is getting hate because of my vid. He tweeted I wasn't responding. He tweeted my percentage of sales. I offered today to Ethan to still promote Frenemies merch and take $0. I didn't even want to cut anymore after all this, but I would have been happy to promote it as I didn't want to leave them high and dry, and that people would still buy it especially under the circumstances. He texted me about it, and I was of course more than willing to do what I can and take no money. Like, it's not about the money in my pocket. Jesus Christ. I made $9 million last year off of. I'm okay with money. Just like he texted me last night if I was still down to do the Rage Room vlog today because we already spent $5K and couldn't get it back. I said of course I will. I am a professional. It's work, we paid for it, I'll show up. I don't leave people high and dry. Hours later he texted me that the crew isn't comfortable around me, so they were not gonna film for us. Okay? Hire a cameraman for $500 or lose $5,000 deposit. And it was all because a guy was upset his girlfriend's idea was shot down, according to Ethan. Even though I had no idea whose idea it was. This is the exact problem I knew was gonna happen. He's gonna deflect on his crew. That we're all fans of Ethan before being hired, and their girlfriends/wives. Like, of course they'll always be in his favor. And I'm made to look like same old Trish. Knew this was gonna happen. And honestly, I just don't care anymore. I just don't. And stop bringing up my mental illness BPD bullshit. I'm on fucking medication right now. I have been for a month. And I don't use any of that shit as a crutch or an excuse, because I do have my shit more controlled than before, and I don't feel I'm entirely in the wrong. Nothing about this situation is anything I wanted. I don't want crew members to ever feel disrespected. I didn't want to leave the show, leave the friendship with Ethan. Like, none of this feels good, and none of this benefits me. It's not me pushing people away. I felt extremely disrespected yesterday. Pushed and pushed. It's not walking on eggshells. It's respecting someone when they ask to stop the recording, and just not respecting that. I don't feel respected. The crew told Ethan they felt disrespected. So what is the point of continuing? I'm upset. I didn't respond privately because I'm upset. None of my videos tonight were exposing videos. It was me trying to clarify this shitstorm that aired. I'm getting so much hate for an issue that didn't exist. I haven't thrown anyone under the bus. I never intended to cause there isn't. Everyone didn't like my reaction on the pod. I wanted to explain myself. I don't want enemies with anyone. Hence me leaving the show that gave me a platform and promotions for my passion projects. I would have benefited me to stay, but people felt disrespected by me, so I chose to leave. Because that's not fair to them. I don't want people walking on eggshells with me, and if that's the consensus there, of course I would quit. I'm not trying to cause anyone anxiety or feel like their work is not appreciated. I don't want enemies. I've been trying to make amends with everyone this year and last. This is getting twisted in such a horrible way, and I'm sick. Like, truly just don't know what to do with myself. Kanita responds to Trisha by saying, "You were so supportive and considerate to the crew the entire podcast, and I noticed that completely throughout my time watching. Even on the podcast today you were." Trisha quote tweets her and says, Thank you. I am always in awe of the things they have set up, like including the recent female hire. She used to do stuff before getting paid, and I thought it was so cool. Once again, my issues were never with them, ever. Caked Caleb responds to Kaneda by saying, I think it's more so on how dismissive she was on how much work they put into Frenemies. Trisha quote tweets him and says, I didn't know they came up with the segments. I literally thought Dan did tech editing and commentary. AB and Ian did research and set up the actual activities. The newest, like props as well. I never slammed that. They set up this cool foreign snacks thing that looked dope as hell. Hence why I said they were busy when the pizza debacle came up. I told Ian I've seen him work the hardest on that pod. Like, what? Cause honestly, I can take people hating me again, thinking I haven't been working in myself properly. But I don't like this narrative of me being greedy or rude to the employees. I was happy with any percentage of the merch. I wasn't even expecting a percentage. I was just happy to get a hoodie for real for real. I never negotiated, never asked to see the numbers, didn't care to. This was mentioned in one of the podcasts. Like, I was genuinely surprised they would pay me anything from the sales, and I didn't care. Up until this day, today, I was like, don't pay me. I'll still help push it for the work and money they put in. Once again, none of this feels good. It's spiraling and escalating, and it's no longer in my control, so I have to just let it be. Think what you want. I said my piece, and I shouldn't have even been tweeting tonight. I was trying to stay offline, but once again, the crew being used for my issues with Ethan sent me off. I was already upset the crew saw me as disrespectful, but then for him to throw they are getting so much hate because of me is gross. I've been unpopular my whole life, and I don't mind going back to it. Sorry if I disappointed y'all, but I have nothing else to say. Ethan then tweets out, erased most of my recent tweets regarding Trisha. Shouldn't have said that on Twitter. I'm going to take a step back for evening. So the next day in the morning, Trisha releases another video on the situation titled, I'm sorry, which also prompts her to make another set of tweets. First off, she says, deleted all my tweets from last night. I shouldn't have shown private conversations. I apologize. I apologize for everything. This got blown out of proportion. I don't want enemies. I've tried really hard to make amends with people I've been in drama with. I don't want it. I made videos trying to explain myself and clarify, but they've all fallen flat and made things worse. There's nothing more I can say or want to say, other than I'm so sorry it's ending this way. I feel horrible. This is one of the worst feelings to see people think I'm this heartless monster, who doesn't do anything wrong. I have been in the wrong so many times on Frenemies. They've been really wonderful to me. Like, it just wasn't working for me where I'm at. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what I need to work on, but I'm gonna figure it out. I apologize to Ethan, Dan, Ian, and Sam. Like, I really do. It's embarrassing and I'm embarrassed. And most of all, you guys. Like, it was cool as fuck to be back in the popular group for just being me. Like, love and positivity always feels good. And this right now does not. I'm sorry. I'm not looking for a third chance, cause something has been overwhelming me recently, and I need to figure out what that is. I know it's the best thing to leave. I do believe the feeling is mutual, and I'm sorry you guys are getting slighted. There's very few podcasts left that I still listen to, so that feeling, I know. And most of all, I'm sad to leave. It was my stability as far as I'm going to work. Gave me purpose and structure. But alas, all good things come to an end. What the internet perceives of me right now is not me. So obviously I need way more self-reflection, because I'm truly not understanding fully. I love you guys, and want to continue doing my own thing, as I've done for 14 years online. This is just the worst I've felt about any situation I've been in online. Like, it's taking its toll. I get the point. It's not like it's going unnoticed. For the people being kind right now, thank you. I appreciate it. And for people upset with me, that's okay too. I'm in a place I can handle the feedback. Speaking of feedback, an employee of the H3 podcast, Dan, actually gave some feedback and corrected Trisha on some things. And it did not go well, reigniting the drama somewhat, to the point where Ethan had to release a 44-minute video explaining everything going on, which Trisha later claims to be a lie. But we will cover all of that and more in the next video. So if you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. I'd also like to thank my channel members for supporting the channel, in particular Scrubby, who's donated $100 a month. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for the next video.